two single parents sharing one common bond.
When they met, it was perfect timing. They were both working towards a goal.
She was smitten. He swept her off of her feet.
But when gunshots pierce the early morning stillness, their romance is swept into turmoil.
Somebody just got shot in the head out here. Oh my God, holy.
She had one gunshot to her left cheek, one behind her ear, and then another in her forehead. It seemed like overkill.
The homicide investigation will prove that sometimes evil hides in plain sight.
The entire murder was caught on tape.
Police believe she may have been targeted by one of her passengers.
Next time now, he gets in the car, gets into the vehicle. It says what? Drive.
Detectives learn that what initially seems like a job-related fatality is anything but.
I'm noticing the shoot up inappropriate pictures. That's like a pretty explicit photo. Yeah, it's very explicit.
This murder was fueled with anger and rage and distress.
She's standing next to a white SUV that matches the exact description of the getaway vehicle.
This is a classic case of fatal attraction.
When you hear, "Baby, I love you to death," be wary, because they just might.
8th, 2020, Baytown, Texas. It's a quiet night in this quaint Houston suburb.
What people love about Baytown is the community is very close-knit. A lot of people know each other.
It's oil workers. It's everything somebody would think of as far as hardworking, good old USA.
By 5 a.m., one hardworking Baytown resident, Brenda Summers, is up and ready to start the day, but it will soon be hurled into chaos.
Brenda was getting ready for work, and all of a sudden she hears a loud noise resembling a gunshot. When she looked out her window, she witnessed a person being shot in their car.
Oh my God.
She immediately called 911.
I don't know what was this emergency. Somebody just got shot in the head out here. Oh my God, he shot right square in the head. Holy. Stay on the phone with me, okay? We're gonna get someone out there.
Within minutes, Baytown police arrive at the apartment complex where Brenda lives on the north side of town.
They're looking at the victim inside the vehicle, consistent with what was reported on 911. Her foot is on the brake. The brake lights are still on. The engine is still running.
It's obvious to them that this person has been shot multiple times.
Police quickly realize they're too late to render first aid.
Unfortunately, there was no pulse. She was already dead.
The first things that homicide detectives want to know at a murder scene is who is their victim.
Obviously, they're trying to figure out some identification, and they look down and they see that the deceased woman has a fanny pack.
When they look inside, they discover a Texas license.
The victim is 31-year-old Jasmine Garrett.
Once you know as a homicide detective who your victim is, you can start conducting what's called the psychological autopsy. Who is this? This is not just a body in front of us. This is a person.
Born and raised in Indiana, Jasmine Garrett always had an affinity for the arts.
Jasmine had such a creative mind. It didn't matter if it was arts, writing, that's how she expressed herself.
She loved to read, she loved to paint, and people gravitated towards her because of that free spirit.
Jasmine's the type of person that dreams big and has a big heart. Some people may say a hopeless romantic.
Jasmine was eager to see what the world outside her Indiana hometown had to offer.
She made a huge decision to move to a big city, and that city was Houston, Texas.
Growing up in a small town, the lure of the big city can seem very enticing.
And shortly after moving to Houston, Jasmine found love with a man named Calvin Ray.
Calvin was another free spirit just like Jasmine, and they really connected over their love of adventure.
But in 2018, the couple got some unexpected news that would change their life forever. Jasmine was pregnant with twins.
One newborn is a lot, but two are overwhelming. So Calvin and Jasmine really struggled to stay afloat.
And things became even more challenging when Jasmine lost the help of her partner.
Jasmine's boyfriend and the father of her two twins got into some legal trouble, unfortunately, and was sent to jail.
Jasmine was already facing the challenges that come with being a new mother, but now her partner has become locked up.
She really needed some help.
So Jasmine reluctantly sent the twins to live with family members in Indiana, while she worked to create a stable environment for them in Houston.
She was making decisions that would help benefit them in the long run.
Jasmine was on her grind. Her main focus was affording an apartment and getting her children back.
She's working 12-hour days as a driver with rideshare companies to save up money so she can get an apartment of her own and have a place where her children can come to.
The last thing on Jasmine's mind was finding romance. But one night on the job, romance found her.
She picks up a handsome passenger named Robert Roberts.
Robert?
Yeah, Jasmine?
That's me.
Okay. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? How's the night?
It's better now.
She was smitten. He was congenial. He was funny. He swept her off of her feet.
He had a personality that was outgoing and fun.
Actually, you mind if I move up front?
Oh, no problem. Go for it.
All right.
Like Jasmine, Robert was a single parent, working hard to provide for his kids.
These two right here is yours?
Yeah, those are my babies.
I actually, I got two of my own. It's them right there.
Robert is a young father taking care of his children. And that said to Jasmine that he's a provider, he's a protector.
Before long, the two were inseparable.
They were so wooed by one another. They had already started planning to create this life with one another.
They ended up leaning on each other. They became each other's person.
So how did Jasmine end up shot to death in the Houston suburb of Baytown?
She had one gunshot to her left cheek, one behind her ear, and then another in her forehead. It seemed like overkill.
Homicide detectives look for things that are out of the ordinary, disorganized. What is it about this scene that is telling this story?
I see a sign on her dashboard that indicates she's a car share driver.
Which provides investigators with their first lead.
Was Jasmine picking someone up at this apartment complex?
Police believe she may have been targeted by one of her passengers.
October of 2020, single mom Jasmine Garrett was on the grind.
She gets with a rideshare company, starts making money that way.
Jasmine was working 12 hours a day so that she could save enough money to get her own apartment, get her children back.
Jasmine was determined. She was going to make something of her life.
And when she picked up a charming passenger, Robert Roberts, she thought she'd found a kindred spirit.
The two of them were forging a very tight relationship, providing each other the support that they needed in order to be successful.
But now Jasmine has been found shot to death at an apartment complex in the Houston suburb of Baytown.
Crimes such as this you really don't see very often in Baytown, Texas. They are trying to figure out what in the world just happened.
Investigators immediately noticed that her rideshare sign is lit up.
They also noticed that her cell phone was missing. And so the police ascertained that this could have been a robbery by one of her potential passengers. There was stippling present on the gunshot wounds, which means she was shot at very close range.
It is clear that this person didn't just fire a weapon at Jasmine, they were right on her. They were perhaps within inches of her head when they fired this gun.
These shots were all intentional, close range, and that tells us that the gunman was not taking any chances of Jasmine surviving. He wanted to make sure this person was dead.
Inside Jasmine's car and on the ground around it, investigators locate 3 .40 caliber shell casings.
So now, you know that Jasmine was shot with a .40 caliber pistol.
The casings were bagged as evidence and sent off for ballistic testing. Police hope they'll eventually be able to match them to a murder weapon.
Investigators also collect a parking pass hanging from Jasmine's rearview mirror.
It looks similar to parking passes hanging in other surrounding vehicles.
Detectives take that parking pass with the intentions of providing it to the apartment staff to see if they can verify if she is a tenant.
But first, they want to speak to their eyewitness, the woman who called 911, Brenda Summers.
At this point, she's the only one who saw what happened.
Miss Summers, can you tell us everything that you remember?
Of course. I was getting ready for work.
Brenda reiterates what she told dispatch on the 911 call, that around 5 a.m., she heard 2 loud bangs outside her apartment.
Brenda says that as she looks outside, she can see a man standing outside the driver's door of Jasmine's car.
She describes the killer as being a black male, about 5'9", wearing a white t-shirt and a red beanie hat.
He's also wearing a white medical mask.
I saw him shoot her square in the forehead, and then he ran.
She says he ran off to a wooded area, and that's when she called 911.
Oh my God, he shot right dead square in the head. Holy.
Do you recognize either of them from the apartment complex?
No, never saw them before.
Although Ms. Summers' description of the assailant is helpful, the detectives know they need more.
Thank you for your time, Miss Summers.
So they immediately go to the leasing office to speak with the manager to inquire as to whether or not the apartment complex has surveillance videos.
Can you pull up the footage around 4 a.m.?
Yes. The apartment complex has great security footage, and so they sit down and they begin to watch what unfolded.
At 4 a.m., detectives see a man matching the description given by Brenda Summers enter the apartment complex.
He's just lurking in the shadows, back and forth in front of this one particular apartment building.
Then at 4:52, detectives can see Jasmine exit one of the apartment buildings and walk directly towards her car in the parking lot.
The suspect hangs back a little bit. He waits until after she gets into her car before he approaches her vehicle.
They engage in what appears to be a heated discussion for several minutes.
And detectives already know what happens next.
The masked man fires into the car 3 times.
Jasmine's entire murder was caught on tape.
But in reviewing more of the surveillance footage, detectives noticed that the killer didn't run into the nearby woods like Brenda Summers thought.
After shooting Jasmine, he ran back to a white SUV, and the vehicle speeds immediately out of the apartment complex.
Who's driving the SUV?
Hours of Jasmine Garrett's murder, police have discovered surveillance footage that shows the entire shooting go down. But several questions still remain.
Who is the masked man who shot her? And who is driving the white SUV that drove him from the scene?
When they roll back the footage, detectives see the white SUV arriving at the apartment complex just after 4 a.m.
So they're pretty confident the killer wasn't a resident of the apartment complex or someone Jasmine was picking up a part of a rideshare.
This murder was not a random robbery. Whoever killed Jasmine had her as a personal target.
This killing was planned and premeditated.
Unfortunately, though, detectives can't make out the getaway vehicle's license plate.
Can you zoom in more than that?
Unfortunately not.
Investigators are very frustrated during this time. It's almost too good to be true. It's not every day that a murder takes place that you can see it on footage, but you're missing so much information.
In hopes of trying to get more information about that white SUV, detectives assemble a group of foot patrol officers to kind of canvass the area.
Okay, let me know as soon as you find anything.
With that search underway, detectives have more questions for the manager of the apartment complex.
Detectives were not sure as to why Jasmine was in the apartment complex in the first place. They didn't know whether or not she was there to drop off or pick up a passenger, or if she actually lived there and was about to start work that morning.
Now, after looking at the surveillance video and seeing Jasmine exit one of the apartments, their belief is she possibly lived there.
Found this in the car.
Investigators hand over to the staff the parking pass that was found in Jasmine's car.
That's one of my passes.
However, it's not a resident parking pass.
The apartment management said, that's a visitor pass. That's not what the residents have.
Do you have records of tenants and visitors?
Yeah, let me look.
They were able to track down who provided that visitor pass.
The pass is linked to an apartment being leased by a man named Joel Pratt.
They make contact with Joel and bring him into the station for an official interview.
Listen, appreciate you coming in. I'm sorry we have to meet like this, all right? But we do need to sit down and see if we can help us out. We'll sort of go over everything again, all right? So, what do you know her as? What's her name? What do you call her?
Jazzy.
Jazzy?
Mm-hmm. Her name is Jasmine Garrett.
Joel says he and Jasmine became fast friends after she moved to the Houston area in 2016.
It was completely platonic. Joel is a gay man.
And when money got tight for Jasmine after the birth of her twins and their father's incarceration, Joel was there to help.
She asked Joel if she could crash on his couch for a while, and he agreed. Joel provided that safety net for her as she was getting her finances back on track. He gave her a place to stay.
You talk to her throughout the day of your stay, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is that common? Y'all talk, text, phone call, whatever?
Talk, text.
While she's out working. Everything seems to be fine?
Mm-hmm.
Joel remembers the evening before that Jasmine had come home pretty late, and she appeared to be really tired from working a 12-hour shift.
Hey.
Tired.
Long day, huh?
Very long day.
And they spoke for a little while, telling him about their day.
And then she crashed on the couch.
And she seemed perfectly fine.
She was tired.
Didn't indicate any issues going on that day. Or just seemed like a normal driving around doing her business day.
It was just like a really big problem or something like this. She would have let me know.
The detectives have no reason to doubt Joel's story, and he doesn't appear to resemble the shooter in the surveillance footage.
They can easily rule him out as the person who killed Jasmine.
But they have to wonder, does he have any idea who did?
They ask him if he knows anybody who would want to harm Jasmine Garrett.
To detectives' surprise, Joel has an answer right away.
Joel tells detectives that she had been involved in an on and off again relationship.
They had the problems. They were going through it and everything like that. She would tell me about it. She would tell me everything, but she told me about it.
Who's this guy?
Albert Roberts.
He goes on to tell detectives that while he's never met Robert, the stories Jasmine shared were concerning.
But she was just like, she was throwing stuff and she was like, she was scared.
Texas police investigating the homicide of Jasmine Garrett have discovered she was living with a friend named Joel Pratt at the time of her murder. Now in an interview room, Joel has named a possible suspect.
Apparently, Jasmine was in an on and off again tumultuous relationship.
Who was this guy? Robert Roberts?
Joel never actually met Robert Roberts in person. He had only heard about Robert from the stories that Jasmine told him, and those stories were pretty horrific.
Him and her had some problems earlier this year, and they got into an argument.
Joel told detectives this one, just bizarre story involving Robert and Jasmine.
She had to go up, her parents are up in Indiana. Okay. They have kids.
Joel tells detectives that the last time Jasmine went to Indiana to visit her family, Robert went with her.
They were already having problems, but they were on and off. He didn't want nobody else on with her, so he went with her.
Robert had this desire that he had to control her. He had to control every aspect of her life.
On the drive back, Jasmine pulled over to get gas in Little Rock, Arkansas, when a stranger walked up behind her.
Jasmine was inappropriately approached by a man.
Or some dude had touched her or something, rubbed her finger up her back, and then she turned around, thinking it was the guy that she was with. The dude told her, "I'm sorry, I just wanted to see your face," and she told me, "You don't need to touch people like that."
Robert sees this, but instead of running to her aid, he actually assaults her.
Hey! What the hell you doing talking to another man, huh?
To me, Robert.
He slapped her upside the head and told her, "Left her?" Yes, hit her upside the head and told her, "Don't talk to anybody else." They got tussling.
Now, you think he would grab the man, this stranger. No, he attacked Jasmine, slapped her right there, right in front of everyone.
Good luck on your own.
Joel says Robert took off in the car, abandoning Jasmine at the gas station.
He takes off in her vehicle?
No, it was a rental at the time.
Whatever rental.
Left her there at the store.
She was left with no money and no means to get back. She really had to try to figure things out.
She ended up calling Joel.
Joel, I need your help.
Joel Pratt is able to drive to Little Rock, Arkansas, and pick her up.
Jazzy, let me see. Jazzy, this is crazy.
I know. I'm so done with him. I swear I'm done after this.
But Robert wasn't done terrorizing Jasmine.
What is it?
Oh my God.
Roberts has hacked into her social media accounts and has began to post sexually explicit pictures of her.
Like very explicit photos?
Yes, very explicit. Jasmine does not upload pictures like that. These were inappropriate pictures. Like real inappropriate. One of those things that get you blocked off Facebook, like in an instant.
I'm so sorry, Jazz. Look, let's just go home and we'll take care of that later, okay?
Okay, it's so embarrassing.
Joel says when they got back to Houston, Jasmine took legal action against Robert.
She made a report about that in Houston?
Yeah, she made a report. She had a big knot right here and it had stitches in it, and then she had a stitch on her lips. She looked like a fish for like 3 days.
The domestic violence case against Robert was still pending, but Jasmine was relieved to have him out of her life.
However, Jasmine's relief was short-lived.
It was a short period where she had begun to relax. But then one day, Joel says that he came home and he found Jasmine frantically packing her bags.
I walked around the corner and said, "Hey, Jazz, you all right?" She thought I gotta get out of here. What happened?
I gotta go. It's not safe for me here anymore.
She saw Robert and he had a gun.
She walked up the walkway and he came around the corner and put a gun in her face. Told me next time we see you, he's gonna kill her.
She say why? What was the issue?
So the guy was angry.
Better watch your back. Your days are numbered.
Thank you for everything.
You don't have to leave. You'll be safe here. Please don't go.
Jasmine was so scared that she moved out of Joel's apartment and started staying in motels.
Unfortunately, Jasmine could not keep up the financial commitment that it took to stay in different hotel rooms every night. So eventually she leaned on her friend Joel again and moved back in with him.
Moved all her stuff out of there and she came to stay with me.
She moved back in with Joel about a week prior to the shooting.
The investigators are stunned by everything they're hearing. And if it's true, they agree that Robert is their #1 suspect in this crime.
Anything else you can think of? Here's my card with my information on it. All right. What I want you to do when I get you back there, I want you to see what you can find out of this cat. Okay?
When detectives run Robert's name into their database, they discover that Jasmine had indeed filed police reports against Robert for attacking her.
Robert also looks eerily similar to the man from the surveillance footage.
Detectives are eager to speak with Robert Roberts, but locating him is no easy task.
He's not answering phone calls. He's not showing up to any of the previous addresses that police have on file for him.
As officers continue patrolling the area for Robert, detectives do some additional digging on the white SUV that served as Robert's getaway vehicle on the morning of the crime.
They determined it's unlikely that the vehicle belonged to Robert.
When reviewing the DMV records, they noticed that he drives a black sedan and not a white SUV as seen in the surveillance video.
They're digging around looking for any sign of that white SUV.
And when investigators dig into Robert's social media page, they find just what they're looking for.
The detectives find a profile picture of one of Robert's friends standing next to a white SUV that matches the exact description of the getaway vehicle.
The woman's name is Candace Oliver.
How was she involved in this? Did she want Robert all to herself?
She can help block this whole thing.
Jasmine Garrett's ex-boyfriend, Robert Roberts, has become the prime suspect in her homicide investigation. But police believe he had a willing accomplice.
Someone driving a white SUV was Robert's getaway driver on the morning of the crime.
They were able to find the identity of the person who owns the white SUV. Her name is Candace Oliver.
Investigators are having difficulties tracking down Robert. So in the meantime, they shift their focus to Candace.
Police bring Candace back to the Baytown police station for questioning.
They immediately press her about her relationship with Robert Roberts.
I met him through a friend, though, y'all. This was years ago. I guess he kept going around, you know?
Candace shared with detectives that, yeah, she knew Robert Roberts and that they used to date on and off, but now their relationship kind of grew more to a platonic relationship, more of a brother-sister type relationship.
Detectives ask Candace about the last time she saw Robert. She tells them it was on October 28th, the same night of Jasmine's murder.
So October 28th, which was a Wednesday, shows up at your house, correct?
Right.
You remember about what time it was around?
It was about 2 something.
Maybe 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Look, I need you to do me a favor.
Robert asked her, I need you to drive me somewhere.
Oh, Robert, it's 2 a.m.
Please.
So he never called you ahead of time, text you, message you, anything about, hey, what's going on? Can I come out? I want to come out or anything like that. Nothing like that. Just showed up.
Yes. It was really shocking because I haven't seen him for a minute. And he was like, yeah, take me somewhere. I was like, where I take you?
You owe me after this. Where are we going?
I'll explain to you on the way. Come on, we gotta hurry.
You asked him, where do you want me to take? What do you tell you?
He said, just drive.
Once in the car, Candace says Robert began directing her towards Baytown.
It was a fire.
Did he tell you where to go?
No, he just said, go here.
All right, so what do you mean, go here? Did he give you like a location to drive to? You put in your phone like directions? Or did he say, go here, here, here?
He just said, here and up.
Candace told detectives that she continuously asked Robert, what's going on, where are we going, why are we going, but Robert refused to tell her and just only simply stated, just keep driving.
You're not even asking him, well, we going out here, who are you to see?
Listen, I kept asking him that the whole time. He was not trying to give me any answers.
The drive from Spring to Baytown or really, the west end of Houston to the far east end of Houston, can take anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour. It's a long time to be in a car with somebody and not know your destination.
Candace says they eventually arrived at a Baytown apartment complex.
I just parked. I cut my car off. And I just sat in the car.
And what did he do while he's there?
He got out the car.
Candace says she never saw Robert with a gun.
He gets out. He's got nothing with him.
No.
In other words, he's not carrying anything.
That's what I'm kind of shocked.
Gets out and starts walking around, or walks away from the vehicle.
Right.
Okay.
And it was so dark, I didn't see him anymore.
When detectives asked Candace what it is she thought Robert was there to do, she says she's unsure, but figures he was there to see another woman.
He probably got women all over, you know what I mean? It ain't no man you gonna listen. My mama always say anything that's open at 12 and above is nothing but legs. I'm a woman, so in the back of my mind, what woman you want to see now?
Candace does tell detectives that in the past, Robert had mentioned a young lady by the name of Jazz, but that she had never met her personally. After waiting for about 10 or 15 minutes, Candace began to call Robert to inquire as to what's going on.
I had called and said, what's going on? Son of a, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
What does he say?
He hung up the phone.
About 30 minutes later, Robert finally returned.
Okay. When he got back to the vehicle, was he just walking, running, jogging?
He was walking.
He's walking. Everything seemed normal.
Yes.
She says he didn't seem nervous or suspicious at all.
Next thing I know, he gets in the car and we leave.
Gets into the vehicle. He says what?
Drive.
Candace says he didn't say anything about who he came to see or what he was there to do.
Candace tells detectives that she never saw Robert with the gun, nor did she hear any gunshots while she was waiting for him to come back to the vehicle.
Her story is certainly suspicious. It's possible that she knows more about what happened than she's letting on.
In an attempt to encourage Candace to be more forthcoming, they decide to show her the crime scene photos from Jasmine's murder.
This is what we were. That's what he did. That's what he did. That's why we're at this point right now. That's Jazz.
Guess who drove him to the crime scene and drove him away from the crime scene? Exactly. Guess who's involved in it? Yes, ma'am.
Despite her loyalty to Robert, she agrees to go on record that the man in the footage is Robert Roberts.
This is him.
That looks like him, yeah.
But where is Robert now?
They have their case. They just don't have him.
Baytown, Texas finally have enough to arrest Robert Roberts for the murder of his ex-girlfriend, Jasmine Garrett. His reluctant getaway driver, Candace Oliver, has positively identified him as the shooter in surveillance footage.
This is him.
That looks like him, yeah.
While the evidence seems to be ironclad and squarely pointing at Robert as the shooter, there's one issue. They still don't know where Robert is.
Candace said she hadn't heard from him since the night in question.
They have him at the location. They have him in the vehicle. They have him captured on tape. They have their case. They just don't have him.
Weeks go by without any sign of Robert until April 13th, 2021.
Baytown police get a tip that Robert is hiding out over 300 miles away in New Orleans. With the help of New Orleans police, they're able to arrest him without incident and extradite him back to Texas.
They're hoping that they're going to get a confession out of him.
Mr. Roberts, I'm Detective Zukas, Detective Gonzalez, Baytown Police Department. Sit down and speak with you, good man.
But Robert refuses to give a statement, let alone a confession.
Okay.
Robert asserts his right to have a lawyer present, effectively terminating the interview.
I'll talk to you guys when I have my lawyer for you. Anything you want to know when I have my lawyer. Okay. So you don't want to talk to you locate or speak with your attorney, correct?
Regardless, investigators have what they need to charge Robert with first-degree murder.
They don't have Robert's confession. They don't need it. They're convinced that they have enough evidence and enough information to convict Robert Roberts of this horrible murder.
And when his trial begins in September 2023, prosecutors present their theory.
They have the story to tell of Jasmine and Robert. Started off as two people who leaned on each other, who cared about each other, but also a story of rage and envy, a story of domestic violence, a story of abuse.
The next time I see you, I'm gonna kill you.
Once Jasmine found out about Robert's true colors, she did everything she could to leave him, even filing domestic violence charges.
The prosecution's theory is that Robert couldn't get over it.
Prosecutors believe that Robert was fueled by anger and distress and that he had to control Jasmine.
He knew that she had filed domestic violence charges against him, and he knew that was the ultimate sign that he was losing control over her.
Prosecutors argued that Roberts would do anything to control Jasmine, including taking her life. And on the evening of October 28, 2020, that's exactly what he did.
Prosecutors say that night Robert drove to the home of his friend, Candace Oliver, and asked her for a ride.
I need you to do me a favor.
They claim this was a careful calculation to avoid his own vehicle being seen at the place of the crime.
I'll be right back.
He waited and lurked outside in the shadows. He waited for his opportunity to trap Jasmine in the confines of her vehicle.
The fact that he was able to wait for her to come out shows that this wasn't only a crime of passion, it was premeditated and it was planned.
As she was getting into her car, Roberts revealed himself and confronted her.
Hey, yo, Jazz, we need to talk.
Robert, what are you doing here? So you really thought the police was gonna help you, huh?
Robert shot her 3 times in cold blood, killing her instantly.
For some reason, he took her phone. Investigators aren't entirely sure as to why.
Oh my God, he shot that square in the head. Holy.
While a neighbor called 911, Robert fled back to Candace's SUV and returned to her place in Springfield.
If it had not been for the surveillance video, Robert may have gotten away with this.
After a 5-day trial, the jury retires to deliberate.
After hearing all the horrific facts of this case, it didn't take long for them to come back with a verdict.
Robert Roberts is found guilty of first-degree murder and is sentenced to life in prison.
He won't be eligible for parole until April of 2051.
Candace was never charged in connection to the crime due to her cooperation with police and the fact that she truly seemed clueless as to what was going to happen that night.
This is a classic case of fatal attraction. And no matter how hard she tried to get away from Roberts, he was so fatally attracted to Jasmine that he was not gonna stop until he took her life.
This was an individual who, in a premeditated and cold-blooded fashion, sought out a person that he just couldn't let go of.
Though someone may present charming and loving and caring, we have to pay attention to the first sign of abuse. It's important to leave because it won't change.
Domestic violence happens in cycles, and we oftentimes want women, men, who's ever involved in a violent situation, why don't they just get away? Why don't they just get help? Jasmine tried. If you're involved in a domestic violence type of situation, get help. And when you hear, "Baby, I love you to death," be wary of that statement, because they just might.